two. 1, 2. I think at least a little bit of it, you know. She did like this, something like this, yeah? So like this, yeah? And then like this, like this, like this. Don't worry, at the end of the show, I'll give you all the steps. Anyway, coming up on my show again, my next guest, we're talking about physiology. Is that right, yeah?
Psychology.
Psychology, there's a go. He helped me out there. Strike him on that one. Anyway, so this wonderful guy, is a very young guy. I like his energy, everything he talks about, and you want to learn more about this. Like my first guest said, now we have my third guest on the show, gonna give you more insight about this. It's not representing Dan Thomas, but before I come on the show, here's a highlight of who he is. Take it away, we'll be right back. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Thomas, and I am a behavioral psychologist. I have a master's in applied behavior analysis, and I have been working as a psychologist for over 10 years, where I supported people from all over the world with different cultural backgrounds in mental health services, organizations, and also in private practice. And it's something that I am passionate about. But I'm also a person, so there are parts of me that is not just being a psychologist, but being someone that have experienced as well being in therapy, and that could grow so much on that sense as well. So I'm super excited to participate in the G Show, for you guys to know me a little bit more, and for me to explore the world of mental health with you. Thank you so much.
Please join me to welcome Thomas Lopes on the show, everybody. Thank you. Woo! How are you doing, my friend?
Good
to see you.
Good to see
Thank
you.
you very much. I just like, it looks like one of those doctors in those movies, you know, when you watch them. Good to see you, Thomas.
Good to see you too. Thank you so much for having me.
Let's get to meet you more. I know you said all you could a little bit on your intro, which is good. I want to strike you on that one. Just want to hear your voice in the background. So good one on that, you know. So tell us about it. In the first place, originally, where are you from?
I'm originally from Brazil.
You're from Brazil?
Yeah.
Today is Brazilian Day. Come on, show some love for them, everybody. Woo! So, thinking about yourself, you know, from your experience, your profession, what really inspires you to really?
So as a psychologist, what inspires me is actually seeing people thriving. So sometimes we think about mental health as just something related to improve our well-being and to actually get that issue that sometimes we struggle with. But then what actually makes the difference for me when I work with a client is actually seeing them thriving, not just in having that issue sorted or something that they struggle with, but then for them to have an experience in life that they can be themselves and that they can face the challenges in a way that they will conquer and overcome everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Amazing. And for you, choosing this position, it's not just that easy for you. It's something you kind of think down deep within you and say, you know what, I want to help people to do this. Have you experienced any challenge in this area personally yourself?
Of course, loads of times actually. And that actually empowers me to be a better psychologist. I believe I try my best to be. And I see my experiences as well in a way that brings empathy to the other person. Maybe I'm not experiencing exactly the same as the other person is experiencing, but I do also have my own struggles. That's why it's so important for psychologists, mental health professionals to also have support, because we spend the day listening to other people's issues and challenges, and then it's not our place. So when we are with a client, that's their place to be. We are there for them. We are not there to talk about ourselves or to think about our issues. So it's kind of like with time and years of experience in this becomes a little bit easier that we turn on and off the button of, okay, here I'm not Thomas the person, I'm here Thomas the person plus the professional.
Absolutely.
Which helps me to actually focus on the person, but then working with my therapist on my challenges as well, because that is something extremely important, because we are people as well, right? It's not
Absolutely.
a lot of people that there is that stigma that, oh, there is a psychologist there's a mental health professional, they must be so well in their personal life, everything they know what to do when they face some specific challenges, but actually it doesn't work that way. We wish.
Yeah, I'm so happy you point that here, because I don't think sometimes even when we go see our doctors, we do even think about them sometimes too. So it's good you really point that out, that we're human beings. So even though we can listen to you 24/7 to hear your feelings or your heart or what's there, you have to still consider us too, that we too have to go see somebody else, and somebody else have to go see another person. So we just kind of keep going like a cycle around, you know. So that's a good thing that you express that out, you know. So what are the challenges that you think most people would face in this area when it comes to your psychics?
There's a little bit of everything. So, and then it's important for me as a therapist to know what I can actually support the person, because we cannot be specialized in everything. We are not like a walking book.
I got you.
You know, we have specific areas that we specialize in. I specialize in behavioral challenges, depression, anxiety, and then anything related to work like burnout. So those are some of the areas that I work, that I'm specialized with. And then these are the areas that people usually come to me for support. And one area that is very common, that answering your question specifically, is relationships. Relationship is a big thing that most of people, they struggle with. And could be any kind of relationship, not romantic. Could be relationship with their families, relationship at work. So anything around that. And usually those are topics that people come to me to ask support for.
Yeah, and also you mentioned there, guys, come on, show some love for this, right? I have to call for it, because it takes a lot, you know, for you guys to come out and, you know, speak about these things, you know, put yourself out there and be able to defend it, like Kate did actually mention in our conversation with me. So I'm happy to have you as well, you know, reiterating into it again. You know? So my question for you would be, what would be the best way when we have to seek this psychological help? You know, how long should we really continue to go for? Is it good for a longer term? Is it good for a shorter term? Is it good for a temporarily? What are the ways for people to really kind of find a balance?
Right, it really depends, because the healing process can take some time.
Yeah.
And it's important for us to understand that it's not like that you have a magic wand and then everything will be fine, or we just take a pill and everything that I'm experiencing, that I'm feeling, will just disappear. It doesn't work that way. So it really depends of the person. But it's important for, if you're seeking a therapist, that you look for someone that you feel connected to in some way, that you feel that you can feel listened to, that you can be yourself, that you won't be judged, because that's the main goal for the therapy, is actually for you to feel that you can say anything, and that will be kept between yourself and the therapist if there is no risk involved, because when there is risk involved is another conversation.
Exactly.
So it's important that you feel that you have that person. That's why it's so important when you're looking for a therapist to look for someone that you have that connection. Even if you see the person talking on social media, for example, you might be able to see like, oh, I like that guy, I like that lady, and then I want to work with them. That's a beginning of a connection, of a relationship, and then actually try it out. So it's not just because you go to one therapist that you have to stick with that therapist. If you're connected to them, perfect. If you don't, it's important for you to be able, because you can't go to a therapy session and be like, oh, I don't want to share this with that person for some reason. You know, it doesn't mean that the therapist is not a good professional. Maybe it's not a right fit for you. And then based on that, you'll be able to see how long it will take. Like you see that going with the sessions, that you are seeing some changes. And as I said, the healing process can take some time. So it's not something that you just like 1 or 2 sessions that you just start feeling better. Sometimes you leave the therapy session feeling that the insights there were amazing and actually clicked, and then your life kind of like started changing. But then sometimes you leave the therapy session and you don't feel great, that you just like all the emotions involved, all the feelings involved, that it's hard to deal with. That's why it's so important to come back, to actually deal with that, for you to, as I said in the beginning, to thrive.
Yeah, to thrive. Come on, show us a love of Thomas, everybody. Thomas, I know you mentioned earlier on, just one more question for you is, what area would you specialize on? Again, if
Right.
you want my audience and viewers to kind of really get that line clearly.
So I specialize in applied behavior analysis and cognitive behavior therapy, and which is specifically on the behavioral approach. There's loads of approaches in psychology, and my approach is specifically in behaviorism. Is the roots of what I do. And in a nutshell, in an easier way to understand, so sometimes we feel and we think and we behave in a very specific way for such a long time that we are like in automatic pilot. We keep feeling in that strange way or behaving in that way that sometimes like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, but I keep doing it. So when you work in behavioral therapy, the idea is that I will help you to take you out from the automatic pilot, to start to understand why you're feeling that way, why you're experiencing what you're experiencing. And then you are going to look at those feelings and emotions and behaviors, and then you're not in automatic pilot anymore. You start going to the manual pilot. And then you start thinking, oh, that's why I always felt that way. That's why I always behaved that way. And then you kind of like finding out who you are and what the things you do, why you do them. And then ideally, we will come back to the automatic pilot, but on a better version of yourself. So that's basically my approach.
Wow, come on, show some. That's the way you rock it. The way you rock it. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
Before you go, have your website, Facebook, any social media platform?
Yes, I wish I had a T-shirt actually.
Next time you
So
bring it
actually,
on.
next time I will remember that. So you can find me on my website and all over social media is Thomaz Thomaz with Z.
What is that? Okay.
And Lopes with S.
Okay.
So Thomaz Lopes, psychologist. So you will find
Easily.
it. Easily.
Find it there. Woo!
Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you.
Guys, there's so much to feed in, but before we bring our next guest on the show, this time we're talking about this young dude, 17, Irish rapper. Well, we're ready to get into it. So we'll give that away. Take it away. We'll be right back. One more time for Thomas, everybody. Woo!